Hi, my name is Amanda and you're watching The Reading and Writing Life. I am going to wrap up everything that I read in May to get ready for June. I'm going to try to do this with no edits, so let's see if I can make it through with minimum edits because I am going to have to put books up here to the side, but I need this to be done quickly. This is my reading journal. It just is from Scribbles That Matter. It's a regular bullet journal with dot grid. If you haven't seen the video about it and how I use it, I will put that up above. So the way I do it is I write everything right here that I have read, and at the end of the month I just draw a line and total everything up. So here is the end of April, the beginning of May, what I started in May. So I'm going to look here to tell you what it is, and we're going to go by genres this time. I think that's how I'm going to start doing my wrap-ups anyway, is by genre. That way, if you don't care about a genre, you can just skip to the next one. So these are not in the order that I read them. And in May, the most that I read in any genre was romance. So let's start with that. The first one is Love Story by Lauren Lane. This is one of my old authors that I have read in the past, and I gave this 3 stars. Next is Reservations by Kendall Alexander. This also is one of my old authors, and I gave this one 4 stars. But then I'm not sure if I'm going to read any more of these. I mean, it's a series, and I kind of do want to know what's happening later, but as I am discovering, I have a lot of series, so it needs to be a series that I really want to finish in order to keep going. Okay, let's see what's next. I have Fake It Till You Make Out and Virtually Screwed, both by Isla Olsen. It could be Isla. I'm not sure how you pronounce her name. I gave both of these 4 stars. I really liked them. They're part of a series about a family, and I'm definitely going to keep doing that. Okay, then I had 2 books by Laura Lee, Collision Point and Dagger's Edge. This also is part of a series. This also is part of a series, and I gave them both 4 stars, and I will be continuing with this series. Next, another by Laura Lee. The next book in that series, it was further down my page, so I missed it, but Lethal Nights, I read that one. And trivia question, that was my 150th book for this year. Okay, let's see what else we have. The next one is by Julia London, who is also one of my old authors. It's called Highlander in Disguise. This is a continuation of in a series that I've already been reading. I gave it 4 stars. Then we have a DNF, my only DNF for the month, which is Checkmate by R.L. Mathewson. I've talked about this in multiple vlogs and I think even in a book tag, so I'm not taking the time for it now. The next one is Bayou Christmas. I only gave it 3 stars. It's one of those novellas that go with the series, and I just don't really like those very much. Anyway, I'm still reading the series. Okay, the next one by Kristen Ashley is called Rock Chick. This was my first book by her, and I really liked it. It's my first book in this Rock Chick series by her. I think I've read some of hers in the past, and I will be continuing with that. Then we have Kira Andrews, Valor on the Move. I've read some of hers before, so I'll just keep reading them. This is not part of a series. Then I have one of my other authors, Maverick by Aiden Bates. This is part of a series. It's a motorcycle club romance, and most of the books are MM, not all of them, I don't think. Anyway, I'm just at the beginning of the series, but I like it. Then we have what I read to end out the month and finish everything out, and that is the Psy Changeling series. And I have just been binging these because I didn't want to start anything big and new before June 1st got here, because I was just trying to get ready for the readathon, but also I wanted to keep reading. So these are all the Nalini Singh Psy Changeling books that I have read, starting with book 1, Slave to Sensation, Visions of Heat, Caressed by Ice, Mind to Possess, Hostage to Pleasure, Branded by Fire, and Blaze of Memory. And I finished Blaze of Memory just before May ended to get ready for June 1st. So that means I finished it today, because today is the end of May. Anyway, I gave all of them 4 stars. I do like this series as a whole. Some books, of course, are better than others. I think that's just what happens when you have a long series, but anyway, those are the ones that I read this month, and I probably won't read any for June, and then I'll pick it back up in July and finish the series out. So that is it for romance. I read 20 romance books this month, and we'll just jump to nonfiction. I only read one nonfiction book this month, and it's called 5 Days Gone, and I did that as a buddy read with Heather from Soggy Expat Book Nerd, so there's a video about that I'll put up above. Okay, the next genre is historical fiction, and I read 2 historical fiction books. The first one is called Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. I talked about this in a vlog. I really liked the concept of it, and I think that it was well executed. Of course, there were some things that I thought could be better. There are some things that I thought were already great, and I gave it 4 stars as well. Then my other historical fiction was called Mary Coyne by Marissa Silver, and this was part of my NPR challenge read that I'm doing, and a video is going to be coming out soon about what I have done in the challenge and what I need to do, what I still have left for the challenge. So be on the lookout for that. I gave this book 4 stars. It's a fictionalized telling of the picture you can see on the cover. Migrant Woman, I think it's called, or Migrant Worker. I don't remember, but the photo is a really famous photo about a family. Well, the photo's not about the family, but it's a photo of a family taken in the 1930s during the Great Depression. And Marissa Silver has like reimagined what happened leading up to that photo. I really liked the way she did it. There have been some criticisms about it just because it's a real person and people are like, I don't like you making up something about this woman's life. I thought that it was good. Okay, the next genre is young adult, and I read 1 young adult. That's weird. I usually read more than 1, but anyway, 1 young adult this month, and it was a buddy read also with Amanda from the Curly Reader, and that was Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bully. I really liked this book. I have a video already about this book during a vlog and what I thought about it, and I absolutely loved it. Okay, then we have thriller. I only read 1 thriller, which was by Alexandra Andrews, and it's called Who is Maud Dixon? I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. Oh, also Firekeeper's Daughter, 5 stars, for sure, 5 stars. And this one, Who is Maud Dixon? So good, so good, so good. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to give it away or anything, but really good. And thriller, I'm easing into thriller. So if you're a beginner thriller reader like me, this one's great. Okay. Not last genre, but the next genre is fantasy. And I read 3 fantasy books this month. 2 of them were by Brandon Sanderson. I read the first book in the Mistborn trilogy called The Final Empire. I finished this book in May. I've been actually reading it for a few months because I'm reading it with my book club. And then I read the second book in the series called The Well of Ascension. So those 2 books I finished in May. I gave both of them 5 stars, really good. And then I read book 1 in the Dark Tower the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, which is called The Gunslinger. I gave this 4 stars. I really liked it. And if you can see anything behind me, I have been trying to buy all the rest of the books in the series. So I'm ready to go. I'm going to start the drawing of the 3, which is book number 2 in June. And finally, the last one I read was mystery. And I only read 1 mystery this month, and now I'm thinking, how did I do that? Like, normally mystery is like my second genre behind romance, so I don't know how I did that, but I read 1 mystery book, and it was The Blessing Way by Tony Hillerman, and I talk about that in one of the vlogs also. So it's the first book in his series about a detective. He is a Navajo detective. He works for the police department at the Four Corners area of the United States, and he solves crimes. And this is the first book in that series, and I thought that it was really good. It was really nice that I read that book and then I went on a vacation to the Grand Canyon. So while I wasn't exactly in the Four Corners, I was really close to the area that he was talking about. So it was really good. I really liked it. And that is it. So let's talk about stats. Okay, so the only thing I calculate for the whole month is just the total number of pages that I read. And I do the page numbers off of either Goodreads or off of Amazon. I try to find it on Goodreads in the edition that I read it in, so Kindle or paperback or hardback or whatever. And then that's what I tally in here. I keep them all on this side, all my page numbers right here. And so for the end of May, the beginning of June, my total pages read are 9,644. I know you could see it, but I couldn't. Anyway, and that's actually a little below average. Like last month, I read almost 12,000 pages, and the month before was 10,000 pages, and the month before that was barely 9,000. So this is probably about average then. I guess I read a little bit more in April, March and April. But anyway, I'm planning on reading a lot more in June since I'm doing the readathon. Okay, I tried to make that as quick as possible. I read a lot of books, but I didn't want to take a lot of time to talk about all of them. So there they are. There is my May wrap up, and I'm so ready for June. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that and click the bell notification so you'll know when I get new videos. I will be back with another video soon. Have a great day. Bye.